here with AJ ahead of the return of Women of Wrestling in Los Angeles, as well as on syndication in television. AJ, first of all, I mean, we're about to kick the show back off. We're about to have some fans in the building. Can you even put into words what it's like to have reached this point?
It has been really cool to go from being in the ring, being just a wrestler where all I have to worry about is my match, to being an executive producer and seeing the big picture of things and getting to support these women who are on the start of their journeys. It has been a weird full circle moment, but powerful and really cool, and I'm just so happy to be here and be a part of their journey. To
ask you about that, you talk about it as executive producer. What is something you feel that just helps in terms of, let's be honest, putting together the show? Because there are things you're going to see from your standpoint that someone else who hasn't been in there may not even think of when they're running camera, when they're running the show from backstage.
I mean, I hope so. I think that was sort of the impetus for getting someone who had experience involved with WOW, but also I have storytelling experience. And I feel like all of it kind of comes together for the same mission of representing people who haven't seen themselves on TV, who haven't been in the spotlight, repping underdogs, people who maybe feel unseen. And to know that that was sort of the mission statement of WOW, it just felt right. It felt like the perfect fit. And I think that having that experience in the ring just it makes me able to understand the girls, to know what they need, to feel safe and included and heard. And I hope that's what I'm bringing to the table.
Now, women in wrestling isn't this, brand new thing, but it's very clear that, as more events, some of the other promotions have the women in bigger matches, it's having quite the moment right about now. I think that's fair to say. For yourself, what is something you feel like the women, women in the business as opposed to men, that you guys maybe deal with, or maybe is a part of the business that the guys maybe not have to think about as much when they're part of pro wrestling?
To me, I feel like we're equals in every way. And what I think is wonderful to focus on is the positives. Like, we have so much more to offer than I think. Lately, it's been beautiful to see the evolution of women in wrestling, that people are getting to see what they have to offer, getting more time in the ring. I mean, I must admit, when I retired, I didn't get to watch a lot. And so I've been catching up, and I have friends in the business that have been watch this. And just to see it evolve, it's where women should be, because they can do everything the guys can do. They can do it better a lot of the time. So it's really cool to see how far it's come, to the point where now we have an all women's wrestling show. We're not just the best part of the show, we're the whole show. That's where they deserve to be, in the spotlight.
Now, a final question. We're primarily an MMA website, so I do have to ask, with Punk, you've seen him wrestle, he brings it. Can you what was it like for you to see him test himself in the arena of the UFC and MMA? Because, we know he could perform in wrestling, but we know it was a different animal. What was it like for you? Just, obviously, you're with him along for the ride and having to see it.
I'm constantly inspired by how much of just a risk taker he is, and even now, just even getting back into wrestling, he's just brave and confident, and I'm really proud of everything that he's done.
The bug never bit you like it did him. He wasn't hey, just come to a couple jiu-jitsu practices to get some gloves and the wraps, and the bug, you were like, I'm good.
Yeah, I mean, look, I've loved training. In all kinds of training, so I've definitely gone to train, and it's fun. But all of the bugs of wrestling and all of those things, there's definitely many people in my ear trying to get me to do things, and we're going to take it slow. We're going to start with WOW. We're going to start with commentating and producing, and just one step at a time.
AJ, I appreciate your time. You've been great. Have a great show and have a great run as WOW returns to syndication and for live shows in Los Angeles. You guys are not going to want to miss it.